We got our jack. That baby. So we should be able to lift the car up with that. These are way better than like a wrench set because these are universal, so you can change the size on them. We also got these for maybe like an odd size nut. You know, weld this puppy up. So we got solder and then a little flame, so we'll be able to heat that up. And if we need some extra heat, you know, we can do one of these and just really get her going.
What's up, guys? So today we're gonna be welding up the diff in the old Lexus here, okay? We're gonna show you how to do it the right way. We'll show you some of the tools you're gonna need to do it. Ratchet, a couple of extensions, nice set of sockets, flashlight, might be dark under there. Safety glasses, always have a fire extinguisher. And some nice Lucas heavy duty gear oil for the diff. When we're done, yeah! Let's get going. Last but not least, guys, you're gonna need yourself a welder. Absolutely cannot solder a diff together, okay? This is garbage, it's junk. We just got this little Millermatic 211, should do the trick. I'm gonna preheat the diff. Real nice and good so we get that penetration we're looking for.
So first things first, we're gonna use my trusty bottle jack. Get this thing lifted up, kind of anywhere flat. I like this little area right here. This is a nice flat area, easy to get to.
Kind of anywhere flat.
All right, so it's still my trusty ball jack. It's just deciding not to work right now. Yep. So I can see the axle's good. I can see the diff good. Should be able to weld it right up real easy. Let up, solder. So, yep. Get those welded together. That's going to serve us really well in the long run.
All right, so does this come with your car stock? First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get this car jacked up. We're gonna get some jack stands under her. Don't be working under the car.
Yeah.
And get her way up so that we got plenty of room to work under there. All right, guys, so we went ahead and took the wheels off. So after we take the wheels off, yours will probably have a cotter pin right in here. So you're gonna pull that cotter pin out and then we're gonna get ourselves a socket big enough to get on that. Release this axle here. Get the axle bolts off of the stub axle on the diff. So now's a good time to tell you, since we're going to be working underneath the car, we need to get our safety glasses on so we don't get any of this schmutz in our eyes. Because we have Allen bolts here, I have these nice little Allen sockets. If you don't have those, you can use a standard Allen wrench. It's just going to take you a million years. While you're going off, to make it easier on yourself, so you can get just these two lower bolts, because the whole subframe's in the way, you can just kind of rotate it. It's going to be a little tough, and you can take them off individually. Sometimes these things can get a little stuck. Maybe invest in a nice brass hammer. All right. So we just broke that one loose there. We might have to tap on the end of the axle here to kind of don't make me force it! Pretty welded in there. It's probably been in there quite a long time. Little lube in there. All right, let that settle for a second. Then we'll heat it up, and what we want to do is we want to heat up the hub around the axle, so that hub will expand a little bit. Then we're going to throw the nut back on, you know, till it's almost flush with this, and then we can kind of hammer on that. Basically what this will do is it'll draw all that lubricant into where we're heating. There she goes. If you hammer on the end of this without the nut on it, give it a good whack, it's gonna bend these outer threads. You're never gonna be able to get this nut back on without re-threading that axle. So make sure you always put the nut on as far as you can. There we go. Okay, so we got both the axles out now. Disconnecting the drive shaft. We're gonna be able to pull the bolts that are mounted or holding the diff into the car. All right guys, so just a little bit of closer look. Sprayed that lubricant in here and then heated it up. How it kind of wicked all that lube all the way into the splines. It's very similar to the idea behind soldering. Kind of heat up the area, hold the lubricant into. All right guys, so we're gonna pull the drive shaft now. Make sure you set your car in neutral. If you got it up on jack stands like this, put something in front of the front tire so it doesn't roll away or do anything silly on you. And we'll just pop these guys off one by one. So this is a two-piece drive shaft. It's got a carrier bearing in the center, so it's not gonna slide or move, you know, the way that it might if you just had a slip yoke in the front. So in the future, we'll definitely go to a different drive shaft setup so we don't have this rubber and we have kind of direct power right to the diff. So that should give us enough room when we get all the bolts out of here. We can start with these. We're gonna throw a jack underneath this so that it doesn't come crashing down on us. Get her up on the bench and we'll drain it, clean it really, really good. I'm gonna get it put up on the bench right now. I gotta run an errand real quick, so I'll be back in a little bit.
All right, so now that that guy's gone, I'm gonna get some real work done. Doesn't seem to be sticking too well. Let's just take the cover off and we'll go in there. We'll come back and do that as well. I think that's gonna be super critical. As I said, universal tools. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Try hard. Should just be able to give us a little tap. Come right off. Yeah. Oh.
What the hell? Matt! Dude! Alright. There's obviously a drain pan right here, which I brought over for this reason. Since he's intent on making a mess, he's gonna be cleaning it up. Matt! Did you try and solder this? Come on! Okay, don't solder your diff. It's not gonna work. You got a mess to clean up, pal? Yeah. Nice big one. Holds these conical bearings for the diff in. Nope. So we'll pull this one and then we'll get that whole diff out. We'll get this ring gear off. We'll get her welded up. If you're worried about the bits, just my hammer. Alright, so we'll get this all cleaned up, checked out. On most of our race cars, when we kind of pull the diffs apart, we'll check everything real good. We'll get it cleaned up real nice. Make sure we're looking for chips, cracks, anything that's blatantly obvious. The only way to really get in and see if there's any internal damage is through x-ray. That car over there has about 230 horsepower, so I'm not too worried about it. Since we do have the luxury of a parts cleaner, which you should really invest in, they're only a couple $100, unless you want like a super nice one. Because you don't want any contaminants when you're welding. It'll weaken your weld, you won't get the penetration you want. I'm actually gonna hit it with this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna take it out and take it outside, spray it with some brake cleaner, really, really get it clean, and then I'm gonna air dry it. So blow it with some compressed air. Okay, so now that we've got the diff all taken apart, cleaned really well, we're gonna go ahead and be welding these plates in between these spider gears here. So that will allow the entire diff to be one solid piece. The entire differential will turn. We're gonna go ahead and get these tacked in here, and then we'll see how it goes.
So that's looking real nice. Those are some great, highly penetrating quality welds.
Is this a joke? Who did? Matt! Dude, what is that? Come on. How do you expect me to get anything done around here correctly if you're gonna come in when I take a pee or whatever and do some stuff like that? We're going to throw it back in the housing and then clamp it all together. Get her back in the car and see if she performs. Got some of this automotive black caulk.
Cool, so I just got this thing all put together, put some of the in here, it's all good to go. Super stoked on how it's came out so far.
Guy's got no idea what he's doing. And hopefully, since he's gone, we won't have any more mistakes. So we're gonna throw some Lucas 85-140 in this guy. Get it right in that fill hole there. Typically, you'd be doing this in the car, so we can kind of, as we get some of this bottle in here, tilt the front end of this thing up here. We're basically gonna fill up until it starts to run out that hole. All right, guys, so we got the diff put back in the back here. So we're basically gonna do everything that we did before in reverse order. Make sure we get our drive shaft installed and tightened. Then we'll go with our axles. We've got a couple of other things to do on the rear end of this car, so we're gonna kind of bang those out and not really show you the whole putting together process. So yeah, just do everything you did in reverse order. Make sure everything is nice and tight. If you have any torque specs, hit those. But we're gonna get this all back together and then we're gonna go see if it rips. All right, guys, so we got her put back together. We got some new studs in the rear, so now we're gonna test it with a little Bernie, I guess. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not already.